Alright lads, welcome back to Champions League Football. Today we are away to Ardea in the league, so let's get into the starting 11. So we've got Davy in nets, 3 centre backs, Andy, Bailey and Tank. 3 in the middle are Nev, Maxi and Grant. Hedgie in the left, Robbie in the right, and up top is Parky and Muzz. 4 subs today are Hendy, Brandon and 2 debutants, Kev and Lum. So let's get into the game. So obviously Daly in their claret and blue and Ardea in black and red. Ball gets punted up and number 4 passes it back to the other Ardea centre back. He loses out to Muzz. Muzz goes through and plays it into Parky. Parky with a touch, actually nutmegs the defender, puts that one by the keeper, and there we go, 1-0 up. What a start it is for us, and what calamitous defending it is by Ardea, or it was by Ardea. And I mean, well, it wasn't defending, it was just they lost the ball. And yeah, there was a wee bit of mix up with Tank and then that striker, both of them complaining that the other person took them out or something like that. But yeah, Davey punts the ball forward, comes to Robbie. Robbie goes by his man and chips in back post. Hedges there with the header and it hits the post, bounces back up, and number 4 headers that, and then they eventually header that one out. So we could have went 2-0 up there, but obviously the post denied us. Robbie goes by his man, gets absolutely slapped in the back, and then they take him out, and then they start complaining, how's that a free kick? Like, I wonder how. And yeah, that was a bit of a poor free kick from Muzz there. Well, I think he was actually going for front post anyway, so in that sense it wasn't a poor free kick. Probably just a bad idea, probably should have just whipped it in back post. But Nev there, getting in front of his man and playing it through to Muzz. Muzz obviously not the fastest, but gets away from his man and he tries for a chip and he skies it, but I mean, fair, he got some height on that from barely lifting his leg. You know, he just like flicked it with his toes and got that height on it. But I mean, he kind of had to do it because he didn't have his base to get away. And number 4 kind of embarrassing himself there. What a pathetic dive that was to try and get a free kick. And Nev actually went fleeing off him. And yeah, so Ardea now in the ball. And the player passing it back, once again losing it. Parky nips in front of number 4. And takes a big touch out wide. He goes by his man and then goes by his man again, but it comes to Hendy. Hendy then takes a touch on his left and hits it, but it goes wide of the target. Hendy obviously did see come on for Hedgie, who hurt his shoulder as he did last week, so yeah, he probably wasn't completely fit to play. But number 3 on the ball now, getting pressure by Robbie. Number 3 swings it into the middle of the park, into the box, and there number 9 goes up for a header, and the big man should have done better there. Number 9 once again flicking it on, and their winger goes and keeps it in. He does some unnecessary skill there, cuts it back to one of their players who has a shot. Number 10 goes to try and tap that one in, but he completely misses the ball. If he got contact on it, that was probably going to be a goal for Ardea. So that's like a really bad miss, really. So Nev now on the ball, he's got Robbie in support, but he opts not to give it to him. Gives it to Grant. Grant swings it in first time. There's Parky with the header, but the keeper makes a good save there and tips it over the bar. We got a corner, but it didn't come from anything, and that is half time. So we go into the break 1-0 up. Not a bad result, in fact that's quite a good result so far, because we weren't playing well at all. Just like last week, we played really not good at all, and they're full back on the ball. He plays it up the line and their number 9 holds off Andy, goes onto his left foot, then onto his right, gets by Andy, has a shot, but it's a really tame shot and easy for Davey to pick up. He then punts it upfield and Nev goes for a header, but their defender wins it. He doesn't get a good contact on it. Falls down to Nev, he tries to go for the volley but really scuffs it, and then it comes to Hendy, he hits it but that one dragged wide. Brandon then gets played through and he's not got much support. He nutmegs his defender and then goes through, well, doesn't really go through, he has a shot and he done well to get a shot away out of all of that, out of nothing really. And Andy had a wee stumble there as their number 10 tried to cross it in, got a second chance and he tried to cross it in again. Once again he couldn't find anyone in the box, it fell to the back post to their winger who gave it into the big man who missed the target from like, what, 5 yards out. But Robbie now coming off for Lum. Lum straight away wins a header and then it gets absolutely taken out. So good positive start from Lum, and now Stevie Brun over the free kick swings that one in and it gets headed out, but Nev is going to try and get that second ball and he gets a block in, gets a second block in, and but it spins over to this near side, and Nev tries to go for a third block, almost gets it, and number 10 gets it, kind of turns Andy, but Andy goes in there and gets a good tackle in, which Hendy obviously appreciated or enjoyed as they gave him a hug. So now RDR with a corner gets swept in back post. Tank obviously never got a shout that he had time, and it then from the following corner it bounces about, and Davey managed to catch that. Now the RDR keeper passing it out to their fullback. Fullback has got loads of time to run up the park and way into our half, and then he there's a balls flying about everywhere, swings it, chips it in, and it's a bit of a shambles once again. Number 9 had a couple shots there, but Davey made a good save, and then number 10 just completely mucks it up. Then from the corner they win a header, and Davey makes a really good save to tip it over the bar, and all the second half was a large majority of it was actually RDR, and they eventually get a goal, which Daly couldn't really complain about because they were poor and RDR were the better team in the second half. So now Andy with a throw in, and it gets headed on. Muzz flicks it on to Brandon. Brandon has a shot, gets blocked, has another shot, and the keeper saves that one. Brandon obviously did come on at half time for Parky, I forgot to mention that, but their winger with a shot, and might not be going in, but it was a good attempt. Nev now coming off for Kev Wallace, him making his Daily Amateurs debut. Brandon now over a corner as he's gonna swing that one in into the middle, gets headed out by the RDR player, bounces out to the edge of the box. Hendy on the half volley, and he hits it sweet as a nut, but the keeper makes a good save there as it just lies against the post. But another corner, Brandon whips in right into the mix of things, and it gets headed back out to Hendy, but it was too towards his right foot and he couldn't quite get a left foot shot away. Well, a good one anyway. Now we've got a throw in, and it is Hendy to throw it in, gets flicked on by Grant. Brandon lays it off to Lum, and Lum has a shot, but it does get blocked and goes out for a corner, but nothing comes from that. Andy now with a throw in, throws it to Maxi. Maxi with a few keepy uppies and punts that one forward. Grant flicks it on, Muzz gives it on to Brandon. Brandon with a bit of a heavy touch, and the defender comes in and gets it, but Muzz manages to keep it alive. He cuts it back into Lum. Lum holds it up for a bit and lays it off to Maxi. Maxi has a shot, but he completely just didn't make good contact with that one. RDR now come away with the ball. Grant then with the interception plays it over to Muzz. Muzz has a shot on the volley, but that one goes wide of the post. And now another throw in from Hendy, plays it down the wing to Lum. Lum holds off his man and goes into the box. By him, it's a bit hard to see, but he cuts it back, and then it gets headed out by RDR. And then RDR on the attack now. Hendy's chasing his man back into our own half, but no need for that as Tank comes in for the big slide tackle, and as Davey has the ball now, he's going to punt this one forward, and that's going to be full time. So the full time result is 1 each. Good result, I'd say fair result, and that's the end of the video. If you like it, please leave a like, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.